Welcome to the Reset for Success show. Today we have our famous Susie Juravich, and she's going to be talking about loving yourself because you are awesome. Hi, everybody. Susie.
Hey!
God, I love you. You're
Thank
so
you.
cool.
Thank you.
You really are. You're just one of my favorite people in the whole world. I hear your
Yay.
name, or I see you up, popping up on my live stream, or my Facebook or whatever. I just think, oh, there's Susie. Look at her. She's so gorgeous inside now.
Oh, that's so sweet. I remember the first time I met you, was Office at America, and I just was so impressed and just could feel your energy from across the table. So that was a number of years ago, but I'll never forget my first time when I got to meet you and the group. It was so beautiful.
Yeah, life is really good if you let it,
really
right?
is. It really is. It really
Sometimes you
is.
have to work at it, and
Yay.
you have to work at loving yourself
Yeah.
and others.
Oh gosh, this whole loving your. I know people are like, "Well, God, you smile all the time, Susie." Is like, what's the deal about that? But I said, listen, loving yourself could be as simple as putting a smile on your face. And I know that when my kids were younger, and I was kind of like, I can't do this another day with these teenagers. But I always smiled because I even did it as a fake smile. And that fake smile can create a beautiful cascade of beautiful hormones that come down in support of, believing that that smile is real. But now I just kind of smile because it just feels good. And it exercises the muscles of my face. And I feel more uplifted and more happy just by doing it. But I am actually happy right now.
Yes. Oh, I'm not faking it either. So, Red O'Loughlin, who is a researcher of
Yeah.
biomolecular level
Yes.
serious diseases and effects of different things that are going on in our world and our body, he
Right.
taught me a really cool thing. Let's see if I can find a clean one. Hold on. I want to show you what he taught me.
Awesome.
He goes, Marian, you want to change your mood?
Mm-hmm.
Stick a pencil or a pen in your mouth.
Uh-huh. Oh, that's good.
You have to smile. You have to. There is no way around it. It forces you to smile, and you all of a sudden feel better.
Yeah.
It has something to do with
Yes. Yeah.
those muscles are attached to something.
Right.
In
Yeah.
your brain, maybe.
Yeah, because people are like, well, I need to go get a facelift or something like that. But if you actually smile and then it kind of creates this beautiful expression all over the face that everything it lifts up. And then what comes down is the beautiful hormones. And Red, he's awesome. And I know he knows all the details that I can't even explain. But there is this beautiful cascade of energy that floods the system with joy, even if you're kind of like faking it.
Right. Even if you have to fake it once in a while.
Right.
And
Right.
I am blessed with that. I just wake up like this in the morning, but some people aren't. They're not, they do have to fake it, and that's okay. If you do,
Right.
it will
Right.
make you feel better. I promise you.
Yes.
You can force yourself to feel better.
Absolutely. I remember like when the kids were younger and I would put cartoons on in the morning just so it'd be fun and uplifting. They didn't want to wake up on their own as teenagers, but it was fun. We had cartoons playing. It was really goofy. So we did start our day with joy, when the kids were younger.
Oh, we definitely loved cartoons when we were younger. Some of the ones I was watching the other day, somebody sent over a cartoon of the Jetsons, and they said, how many of those things have come true? Somebody knew, somebody tapped into the future because they had great big screens and they were talking to their boss. They were working from home.
Yeah.
And, a lot of the stuff that they had on the Lost in Space and the Jetsons, it's coming true.
I know. I love the Jetsons so much. I know. I love it. But I know that like right now that a lot of people are not feeling so joyful all the time. Have you noticed that too a little bit? Just some different things coming in, but may I suggest a couple of like easy breezy things?
Please.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so so as I call this the 2020 frequencies are presenting so many different things for people, and people are responding in the ways that they understand. And I always say that everybody's doing the best they can. Everybody's in their most highest expression, even in the 2020 frequencies. But some easy things to do is, like, let's say, for example, if a person is not really loving themselves or loving others, then you can simply go into this just a breathing practice. And this is so easy. So a lot of my things I do for my own self they're free. It's just free. And so it would be simple, like maybe taking 3 breath cycles, just breathing in and then breathing out. And I always smile when I breathe in. So again, breathing in and then breathing out. And then one more, breathing in with a smile and then breathing out. There's something about that is when we got something kind of wackadoodle in our field, or something like, oh, I can't watch the news, or people are saying this and then I'm saying that. But there's a time where we can just be in pure stillness, and then we can just be present with the breath. And that breath is so powerful, because as you are consciously aware of taking the in breath, you could even say it in your mind's eye, breathing in and then breathing out. And that directs more focus to being more in the body versus being in the outer field. That
people talk about being in their head.
Yes.
Hey,
Yes.
Susie, I don't mean to interrupt, but we have a guest. Actually, our
Oh my-
co-host is here.
Uh-oh.
Ready? Here
Yes.
she is.
Yay!
Yay! Hello.
I'm back.
Yay!
Yeah, that sounds wonderful. We do need to get out of our head.
Yeah.
I hear people talking about that all the time. They're like, I can't get out of my head. And I know what that means. So if you've never heard that before, or you're not sure, I think what Susie's trying to get at is here, get it out of your head and into your body, because that can tell us what that does for us if we can learn how to do that.
Right. So, and this is a great conversation we're having already. So, when we are in our thinking mind, and I can't even understand where the mind actually exists. If anybody knows where my mind is, can you give me the latitude and longitude? Because I'm like really unclear where it is. Anywho, but when we get more connection with our own body, and loving ourselves and loving our body in such a way that we are early messengers. We are receiving messages from the body at the earliest onset of something different. And what that does, I think, too, is it creates more joy in your own reality as you are accessing messages from your own body. And by doing that, you have a chance to do something different. So it might be, and I always say, when we say making change, it's more about doing a slight fractional pivot. So it doesn't have to be like some drastic thing, like I'm going to, blah, blah, blah. No, just it's a slight pivot where you do something different. And it might be, I don't feel good in my body. Well, sometimes it's just as simple as drinking more water. I would say for everybody, when they wake up, is to drink at least a glass of water, 8 ounces of water before caffeine. I've been told not to do that before caffeine. I live with a chiropractor. What can I say? Anyway. But
okay, so Susie, let's talk about that. Let's slow down a little bit, because I really think that this is important. And if we kind of go too fast, then people will forget.
Right.
So write it down. Yeah. This has changed a lot of how I feel in the morning. Yeah. As soon as I get up, my dog wants my attention. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's easy for me to forget what I'm supposed to do for me, because all of a sudden she wants to go outside. Hello, I have to go to the bathroom.
Right.
Let me out.
Yeah.
I wish I had a doggy door. And then the second thing is, hey, while you're up, I'd like something to eat, if you don't mind,
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, all of a sudden it's like, okay, I've already pushed the button for the coffee, so I may forget my water. So I think I'm going to say, wait just a minute. I don't care how much noise you make, but wait just a minute. I'm going to go and drink a glass of water on purpose.
Yeah. Yeah, that's so powerful. And I love that you have this beautiful routine with your beautiful, little puppy dog. But you can have that glass of water filled up right next to your bedside.
Oh, there you go. Okay. Yeah.
So we start looking at things in a different way. But when you start giving that beautiful, beautiful, I like spring water, but drinking that water early on in the morning, it kind of upticks your whole experience for the day, that you've been simply hydrated.
Yes.
And even with that, even before you get out of bed, I usually kind of wake up super early. I'm so happy to be alive. I'm so happy I have a body and I get to be here. But I spend a little time in bed before I jump out of bed, because I'm so excited. But I'll listen for the bird songs. I'll listen to the naturalness of life, and I'll have a little moment before I jump out of bed. But I think that getting that first glass of water in the morning, and sometimes I used to do all these practices too about blessing, myself and loving myself more. But you could even start with, even when you're in bed before you get up, is just doing this beautiful, I love myself. We can even do it together. So I love myself.
I love myself.
I love myself.
I love myself completely.
I love myself completely.
I am perfect.
I
don't know if I say that. Now you're pushing it, Susie.
No.
But see, sometimes people will go, well, this isn't working for me. And I'll say, well, you know what? The universe is always going to say yes. So if you say things aren't working for you, you're going to for sure get a whammy. And it may even be little whammies, like little bitty instruments of information, that what you put out, what you say, and what goes through that spirit or that frequency boost that you're doing, is that you're going to get a complete yes to the answer. So when you wake up in the morning, I am joyously ready for this beautiful day. You can do that because that raises that frequency that we're in. And so a lot of us are kind of hovering in and dipping, from time to time, but we want to be holding our intentions so strong that we are able to maintain that frequency throughout the day. And as a dip comes, maybe a little smile, maybe 3 breath cycles together, breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out, and then just coming back to center, because as the frequencies are moving, and our joy is to stay in that higher vibing, which is that higher languaging. I am consciously aware that my body is healing right now as we're communicating on this Zoom connection. I am feeling more vibrant in my body. I feel more joy just by simply being in community. I love my life. I love myself just as I am. I am perfect just as I am. And it feels so good. Right now, I'm getting goosebumps just even saying this, But when we go into that affirmative nature, we're raising up our frequency. So whatever the 2020 frequencies bring to people, there's definitely changes. Absolutely. And it's a great time for us to change, what we're doing in our own lives.
Yeah. Well, the words you just said were, I love myself just as I am.
Yes.
I am perfect. That's how to get around it, Marian.
Yes.
Instead of just saying I'm perfect, your mind will say, "Oh no, you're not." But if you say
you knew it. Yes.
I am perfect just as I am.
I like that.
I've been known to tell my big belly, I love you. I mean, stand there in the mirror and look at your belly and you say, oh my God, a belly. But I love that belly. I mean, I'm alive because of it.
Yeah.
It may be, it's too fat, but I love it anyway.
And I think our body type, I think people are maybe putting on a little bit of weight at this time, and certainly there's certainly a place for that. But I would say if you're going to be indulging in some goodies, we definitely do cupcakes over here and cookies and things like that. But I cook everything at the house, and I bless every food. I carefully and lovingly honor all of the nutrients, all of the veggies that I'm cleaning and kind of massaging them, and being a witnesser that the food that I'm creating, that I'm cooking and cleaning and clearing and manifesting is of the most highest expression to be in support of my body. So even if we eat a few naughty little things, sometimes that little treats are good, that I still bless it just as I would bless, just an organic piece of, vegetable or fruit, And so I just think that there's times like right now where we can look at how we're eating and how we're experiencing foods, and then bless it in its highest expression. Even with your water, you can just bless this water, that this beautiful vibrancy, this beautiful frequency is going to come into my system and flood my system with more experiences of healing energies. It's powerful, you know?
Yeah. Excuse the bell. I've got roofers out there driving up and down the driveway. Susie, have you got a special blessing that you can kind of quote right now? Just let's say food and water. Can you lump them all together? And then people can come back to this video and write that down.
Yes.
Or maybe you could put it on your website and they could go copy it and paste it. But I think a nice blessing would be appropriate right now for all of us. And I'm going to hold my water so you can bless my water.
Yeah. So, yeah, we can hold our water. And I don't have anything planned to say. So sometimes I go on a little bit. I affirm that this water is the most highest expression of vibrancy and frequency that'll flood my entire body and all my auric field with more joy, more beauty, more healing, more wisdom, more intelligence, and more joy than ever, and loving myself in all areas of my life. And so it is.
Oh, I love that. Thank you, water, for receiving, and I received the water.
Well, as we know with Dr. Emoto's work, where he took 2 containers of water, wherever he took it from the stream and a river or whatever, and he put messages on the bottle, and the messages that were good and kind and loving, they were changed. He proved it by freezing it and putting it under a microscope and taking pictures of it. And then the water that had, let's face it, we've got self-talk that, I'm fat, I don't blah, 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 blah. And those messages on that bottle, it turned it couldn't even create a crystal. It was just a brown glob of yuck.
Ugliness.
Ugly. So we know that works, Susie.
Yeah,
but you're doing it, and you're teaching us how you are changing the world for the better. And we love you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
I just think that we have so many beautiful things when we come in as a baby. We are still so close to that beautiful expression of God or source energy. And then we come here and we kind of forget who we are. And so I think my path right now is to remember who I am and who you are in all of life, So when we're talking about that water, talking about plant life, is we want to speak kindly and lovingly, and we want to see everything grow and flourish in amazing ways. And so I've learned to change my languaging. I think I was okay before, but I've really expanded all the sentient beings and all of life itself, and seeing it flourish and be wonderful,
Yes.
Yay.
Oh, I love it. I love it. This is so beautiful, because I'm sure there are people watching now or on the replay who have never really heard this. And it's time for an awakening of the world, not just you and me and Marian. It's the whole world. Would do well to awaken to the fact that we can change our own reality with our words and our thoughts.
Right.
And I have been asking for you, Susie, for many, 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 many years. I have, for some reason, food. Is, some people have like cigarettes or alcohol, or I don't know, they beat people up, whatever their problem is. Mine is eating. Okay, so I'm hoping today will be the day that I change that. And so I'm really interested in hearing more about how you can help us love ourselves so much that it's not that we don't want to eat, because let's face it, you have to eat.
Gotta eat.
But maybe we want to love ourselves more than to smoke those cigarettes or to eat
Right.
that food that we know is not good for us. And
Right.
so what can you tell us about addictions and not loving ourselves enough?
You're right. That's a great question. So I would say that a lot of us are kind of on automatic, and even from early childhood, we were in automatic. We had these we do this, then we do that and that. But I would suggest, that that with the eating is maybe take a little bit of time before you eat. Be sure that you have that water before you have the meal. And then I would encourage, this is kind of so goofy, but I would say when you take a bite, chew it longer. Chew it longer, because we are doing digestive enzymes over here before or slightly after a meal. But for natural food, you don't need any extra enzymes. It's already got all of that that'll support the system. But when you've got processed food, it doesn't have the life force energy anymore. It's like eating cardboard. That's not really nice to say. But if it's still got life force energy, there's no need for that. But if it's anything that's processed or cooked, even if it was a vegetable that you cooked it, its little life force has been kind of sucked out. But you can eat more slowly and experience it more richly. And if you not using enzymes, then you want to liquefy each bite. Like sometimes we're so hungry, we just devour it really quick.
Yeah.
And then it's a little bit more of a process for it to be processed out, because God knows we don't want to be holding that stuff inside forever, right? Because it's waste. It's waste if it's not eliminating sooner. They used to, I don't even want to say this, but I've been able to help people that have problems with elimination. and it's pretty interesting, the path on doing that. But I would say is take a moment and reflect, drink that water before you go in to eat. And then chew it more. That would be my real recommendation for you. And for people who smoked, I used to smoke, and it was terrible. I was a yogi. I was teaching breath work at a hospital, and I was smoking. It was crazy. And something happened to me one day, and it was February 27th of 2015. I said, I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm not going to do this anymore. And I don't know what happened to me, but I'm like, I'm not going to do this anymore. And so, and I held to it, and I'm not going to do this anymore, and sometimes too with that is, I also say now, when things are coming in that aren't beneficial for me, I'll say, not mine. Not mine.
Oh, tell us more about that.
Well, you know how many, when we were kids, we were like, playing hot potatoes, you'd be like throwing it and then it's going back and forth. My whole goal is to never to catch the hot potato. So I'm like, if something comes in that the appearance of that it's for me, whether it's somebody's opinion or thought or some other, experience that's not where I'm at, it's not for me. Clearly it's not for me, And I used to have all these practices of releasing and letting go and creating, but now I'm like, no, I'll pass. No, I pass. But for the addiction, though, for the people right now, is for them to slow down. And I would also ask for anybody that is, feeling like they're really sad and they don't know what's happening right now in life, is to come into a meditative or a breathing practice. And there's a handful of breathing practices. Maybe we could do another session where I do about 6 different breathing practices.
Yes.
But when we go into the breathing, to have that conscious awareness of the breath, the life force energy that animates our beautiful bodies, then that's a time of pause. Everything sets aside, and it's magical almost. It's miraculous that when you go into breath work, you're not really focused in on, what's happening in the world or what do I have to do next, or I've got to go grocery shopping. You're totally 100%, present. But that would be just learning a few different breathing practices. But even like what we did at the beginning, breathing in, breathing out, doing that for maybe 10 breath cycles, that is powerful. It's super powerful. you know?
Yeah.
And I know that a lot of people now are looking for that, you know, looking for something different. And some other recommendations too for things that are showing up is people are getting all kinds of disruptive or in not harmonious frequencies. And so I'm also suggesting for people to be careful with the electromagnetics in their home. I would suggest for better sleep, people are like, I can't sleep. Well, turn the Wi-Fi off at least at night. You're not going to be doing anything with Wi-Fi at night. And so those electromagnetic fields are really strong now, especially with 5G going on. And we don't really understand the full impact of all that. But what we can do is we can take responsibility for ourselves and go, listen, the Wi-Fi is going to be off for maybe 12 hours, you know, and definitely do that at nighttime, because people are not being able to sleep, or they wake up too early or something, and then they don't feel good in the morning. And so I've been helping people with that, not being able to sleep a good night and feeling tired when they wake up. And that's probably another show.
Wow.
But those are some recommendations right there, because you could say, oh, I'm so pissed off about this whole thing. Or you can say there's maybe some interrupters that we can go in and we can clear pretty quickly just by some different awarenesses, you know, for these people. So there's definitely some different techniques and just awareness of different things. But electromagnetic in the home is very real. and also for your phone. So I've got an iPhone 11 and I have an R2L. And so I usually keep my Wi-Fi off of it, because when I do it, a little red light will go on, and then it means that it's offsetting the radiation, because our phones are powerful, you know, and if you put it to your head or you're holding it here, I mean, there's just a lot of things that are impacting people beyond the news and the narrative, that we are sensing and experiencing different frequencies that are not beneficial.
Yeah.
So it's a lot, blah, blah, blah.
What I hear you saying, Susie, is that there are certain things that you can do to show yourself that you care, to set yourself up for success, you know, and move beyond where you are right now. So even if you're not stuck, or like me, I feel great. Are you kidding? I wake up, I'm so happy. I get up but I still have issues and problems and things, and things are going on. And sometimes I need, you know, strategies, you know, to make my life better, to eat better, remember to eat better, that type of thing. So I think what I'm hearing you say is there are certain things that you can do to show yourself that you care for you. You take time to show other people you care for them, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Why not do it for yourself?
Yes.
So let's talk about your complimentary 30-minute Akashic record session that you're offering our audience.
Right. So I am offering a 30-minute free Akashic reading, and it could cover loving yourself. And a lot of times when I do the readings with people now, it really goes into their beautiful body, into their beautiful spirit, and to remind them who they are. And so the records I go into a meditative state. It's very peaceful, relaxing. And I never know what's going to come through, but it's usually of the most highest and brightest illumination of light that I can access to. So it's beautiful, very beautiful. And I'm happy to do it.
I can attest to that. She's done my Akashic records, and it was wonderful. Thank you, Susie.
Oh, you're welcome.
So for those people who don't know what that is, can you explain it?
Yeah. So the Akashic records, it's also in some other books, the Book of Life or Book of Souls, and I chose Akashic record because I'm a yogi, and it's going about the ethers. So it's really kind of like a blueprint of the soul's expression in all timelines, and so it gives us insight that helps us in our present life. It gives us more meaning, more insight, and more understanding from the other timelines that the soul has been playing in.
I love it. It's so important to have this kind of information. And I know there's people are going to say, "Oh, it's woo-woo stuff," but it's really not. This is proven. This is stuff, if you will, that we need to know. And an open mind is your best friend. Wouldn't you say so, Susie?
Absolutely. And I love it when people come and they don't really know what's going to happen. And so again, this is all about love yourself. And so when I sit down, or actually I lay down, I have a day bed in my office where I do my records. So I lay down and close my eyes. And then it's all about love. It's all about love. It's like, it's that love of the person that I'm working with. And then as the reader and the person who initiates it, I feel that love too. It's so beautiful.
It is. It is. Well, my goodness, our time is gone again. It's hard to believe, but this is such good information that so many of us can use and that we need it. And I highly recommend that you touch base with Susie. Her information is in the description down below the videos. Woo-hoo! And even on the podcast, it's in the descriptions. Connect with Susie sooner rather than later, because she's going to book up. I can tell you, she's going to book up. So you want that powerful information, and just know that it can help you in ways that you are not even ready for, but you'll get ready for them real quick once they start happening. But you have to keep that open mind and say, okay, I'm ready. I'm ready to change. I'm ready to get out of this rut. I'm ready to move on with my life. And I'm going to do it loving myself.
Yes, absolutely. Beautifully said.
Thank you, Susie, for joining us. Thank you, audience, for hanging out with us. We appreciate you so much. And we're sending you lots of love right now.
Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, and it's under Marian LaSalle, and you click on her little picture when you're over there, and it opens up to Natural Curiosity. We need subscribers. Thank you, everyone. Bye, Susie.
Bye. Bye. Thank you.
Bye for now. We'll be back.